Hello, and my name is Pete Rushmer, and I'm your host today of a Half Dozen Things podcast. A Half Dozen Things is a podcast for business owners just like you. Whether you're an underdog hungry for success, or you're already smashing it but want to continue to level up, we are here each week for you to get insight and learning from the very best in the business. No fluff, no BS, and no self-proclaimed gurus talking about how easy business or life is. I'm so excited. I've got such a brilliant guest for you to listen to this week. I'm joined by Stavros Lynch, and his YouTube channel, Stavros969, has got over 116,000 subscribers. It's an absolutely fantastic YouTube channel. It's almost 10 years old, and he covers truck videos, car videos, and different events as well. He's had over 29 million views on YouTube, and he's an absolutely amazing and funny guy as well. I really hope you enjoyed today's podcast. And if you do, please do share it with your friends, and catch you soon. And I've just heard a voice telling me the red light is rolling and we're recording in progress. Stavros, absolute pleasure to have you join me. Hello, how
Peter,
you doing?
how are things?
Oh, mate,
not so bad. You join me here at Rory Lynch Transport in Shannon, in Ireland. Let me just quickly turn the camera here, Peter. You see this truck here? Can you see it?
Yeah. Oh, there's a Renault.
So that's a Renault T460 Comfort, 644,000 kilometers on it at the moment.
Nice.
And yeah, we got that truck used last year. It's an ex-Iceland truck.
Oh, okay.
So that's one of a few trucks now that we have got used at the moment. We got a used Scania as well a couple of years ago. So, and yeah, at the moment we have about 11 Arctics on our fleet and about 5 Rigids. About
nice.
5 Rigids at the moment.
Yeah.
That's what we're operating on here. Yeah.
Very nice too. I was actually going to ask you. You recently celebrated an anniversary in the business and got a special vehicle. How's that been?
Yeah, well, I'm sitting in it now. The Scania S580 V8, 3,000 Newton meters of torque from its 16-liter diesel engine. But no, it's going great. I've been driving it since new. Collected it last May of last year, and there's now 150,000 kilometers up in it. And Michelin kindly sponsored me some tires. So
really, yeah?
They gave me a new set of tires, which is very kind of them, to the value of €2,700. So I have to say that ever since I started this YouTube channel 10 years ago, Michelin have been the kindest. So big shout out to them. But you see, Peter, this truck came with Bridgestones, okay? And if anyone knows Scanias at all, like, they've been using Bridgestones M729s on the rear axle for years. I mean, it's a really kind of old tire. Yep. So Michelin got in contact with me and they said, listen, we've got some new tires here if you want to test them out. So I have the HLZs and the HDD tires front, rear, and I'm testing them out, you know. So when I reach 172,000 kilometers, you know, we're going to do a comparison. Because we've recorded the Bridgestones, they came off at 176,000. Yeah, so we'll do the comparison then, and then we'll do a thread, you know, check, and the guys from Midland Tires will be down, and Trevor will be down from Michelin Ireland, and we'll all do the comparison, and then we will sort out this conundrum, Peter, right? Are the Michelins worth the extra €100 a tire more than Bridgestones? It's around that much more, you know. So say, for instance, now on a 6x2 mid-lift, you can order the truck from Scania with Michelins on it, but it's going to cost you an €800 premium on top of if it was coming on like Dunlops or Bridgestone. So the Michelins are a premium tire.
Yeah.
But at the moment, now I have to say I'm getting on very well with them. Now I have noticed a bit of slippage now. Say I'm reaching about 58,000 kilometers now on them, and you know, there's not that grip that there was obviously when they were new, because they're starting to wear down a bit. But you know, I do find them a bit more grippier than what the Bridgestones were at the same mileage. Yeah. You know, so we're all doing the same routes as, you know, so it'll be a good comparison now. I'm looking forward to the measurements.
Yeah, I love
176,000.
What tyres are they? Are they 295/80s or 315/70s? Do you know, Stavros?
Yeah, I have 315s at the front and 295s at the back.
Oh, okay, yeah. Excellent.
Yeah,
Excellent.
sorry, 385 super singles at the front. Super
Oh,
singles.
okay.
What am I on
Yeah,
about?
nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay, mate.
Most of the other trucks just have 315s, But
Yeah.
these are
special.
385s at the front.
Well, it's special,
Yeah,
isn't it? It's a V8.
Yeah, but people kind of say like, why do you use super singles at the front? Well, you see, I was always using the standard tire, but I just find that the wear is better because, Peter, all of these trucks, when you're driving them for a certain amount of time, they all start to pull slightly to the left. And I've tried tracking Scanias how many times? Give it 3 months later and it's still pulling back to the left, So trucks, I don't know, like they're so hard to track. You'll track them and they'll go straight for a while and then they'll be back because all the different roads and you're climbing curbs and they're just literally impossible to track. But I just find using the super singles on the front, you do get less of a pull to the left over time. And, just swap them around and you'll be fine. But this truck is doing well so far. But, as trucks age, it'll just become more and more that, there'll be a slight pull to the left,
What sort of fuel consumption do you get out of it, Stavros?
Well, I'm currently getting 9.1 out of this.
That's good. It's good.
Now, 9.1, like, this truck is 2020, so if you were to compare it to the last truck I drove, which was a Scania R560, also with a V8 engine, 2,700 Newton meters of torque, which is less than this, but I was averaging 8.7 miles per gallon out of that truck. And that was 8.7 over an average of 130,000 kilometers. So that was like a full year's driving where I never reset the trip computer at all. I left it alone. And at the end of that full year, 8.7 miles per gallon.
Yeah.
Which is okay. I mean, there's guys driving the same truck and they're there. Sure, I can't get that mileage. But you see, we're not heavy all the time, Peter.
Mm-hmm.
We could be doing, lightweight and then heavyweights. So obviously, guys that are doing heavyweights every day, they would only be averaging 7.5.
Yeah, I see.
Some guys are even worse.
What type of work do you do, Stavros? What sort of stuff are you pulling?
Well, it's all groupage stuff. So it could be anything from a vacuum cleaner to chemicals. Now we don't do tanker work at all. It's all like packages. So it could be IBC tanks or it could be small drums. So obviously I've got the HAZ license, which I have to renew next year because you have to renew it every 5 years. So I have to renew that by October next year.
Nice. Yeah. And what's your preference? So is Scania your preferred brand, Stavros?
Well, because I'm driving one, maybe. But I do like the Volvos. We had a Volvo on test now, a 540 turbo compound.
Yeah.
That was a nice truck now. But the interior is still very dated on them. And, the interior needs to be brought up a notch in terms of quality. Because some of the plastics and, the way things operate, it's just not up to Scania standard. But then, Peter, you are paying a lot more for a Scania. Like this truck that I'm in now, 580, if you were to get the equivalent in the Volvo, it could be anything between 15 and 20,000 euro cheaper.
Yeah.
So you see, Scania, and by the way, Scania put up their prices as well, 10%. So I was talking to a guy that priced up a 770 February of this year, and it was coming in at 174,000 euro. And he priced up the same truck. I'm only going back about a month ago, and it was 188.
Wow.
For the same 770.
Wow.
And that's a 6x2 mid-lift. So they're huge money, Peter. Huge.
Yeah, it's massive, isn't it? Massive money.
But Peter, we have never spent this amount of money on a truck before. So it was for our 40-year anniversary, which was last year. We started in business in 1980. We started with a small little Fiat. Oh yeah, thanks. But as Rory would say, listen, like 10 years, 20 years, he didn't think it was going to be 30 and 40 years. He did not see, if you ask Rory, like, would you have thought you'd still be in business in 40 years time? He'd tell you like that. No, definitely not, because there was some hard times in the 80s. And you see, like the 90s then, right? More and more freight companies were, coming into existence. Like, but Peter, so many freight companies have gone. Where I am now, right? Smithstown Industrial Estate, right? I'll just list off some of the freight companies that have disappeared, right? We have RMF, we have Kirsten Unick, we have Reindeer Shipping, Castle Freight. Like, that's just a few of them. Elite Camino, AEI, like they're all gone. Now, some of them emerged into other companies, but some of them have just disappeared. Dateline Forwarding, another one. So many have come and gone, but we're still here for the moment anyway. But it's a family-run business, Peter. There's 6 of us in it. So I have three older brothers. I've got an older sister and a younger brother. So we're all involved some way in the business. One brother is not kind of full-time at it. He's kind of part-time at it. But more or less we're all involved, and there's a few nephews involved as well.
Yeah, amazing.
So,
that was going to be my next question, was around what's it like working for Rory Lynch? Have you always worked for the Rory Lynch Transport, or did you do stuff before and then come over?
No, from school, Peter. Since before I finished school. So he started in business in 1980 with a small little Fiat truck, 573 UZH. If anyone out there by any miracle knows where it is, we're looking for it. And then so he bought a small little Fiat box truck, a used one. And then the second vehicle he bought was a Hi-Ace van, a blue one, 771 LIE, if anyone knows.
Are you trying to collect the old ones back? Trying to get the old ones back?
Yeah, well, we'd love to find the first truck, but people reckon it's probably buried or rusted to death. Yeah. But 573 UZH was the first. You see, Peter, it's funny, right? I can remember the registrations of like the first 5 and 6 trucks that we bought, right? But if you were to tell me what's the reg of this truck here, the daft beside me, I wouldn't even be able to remember. Yeah. I just remember the reg of my own truck now. That's it. Exactly. Nothing else kind of like matters at the moment, But you see, Peter, family businesses, they're not all plain sailing, There's a lot of arguing that goes on, and you go back to some family businesses now in transport will understand what I say when I say holes in the doors. Now, Peter, you're probably wondering, what's he on about holes in the doors?
What are you on about? What is holes in the door, Stavros?
Well, let's just put it to you this way, Peter. Before fireproof doors came into legislation, right? You had these like really light, weak doors, and they were very good for like putting your fist through or else down on your foot level, kicking a hole in the door. So we had holes in the door in the old warehouse and in this warehouse. That's a family business, Peter. I'll just give you a quick story there, right? When we were in our old warehouse, which is only down the road from here, right? I had an argument with my brother, right? And there's 2 offices, and there's like a glass, a sliding glass partition window, yeah? And he threw a stapler at me, right? But he was hoping to get it in through the gap of the window, and then ended up smashing the window, And I just says, "You're some plonker." So
that's amazing.
He never managed to get the stapler through the window. He actually smashed the window.
Who's the most aggressive with the doors then? Who's the most aggressive with the doors? Is that you? Or not? No?
The 2 older brothers that are running it, like I'm driving, they're running the business. So they're the ones that are responsible for the holes, Peter, but you see, Peter, I've been telling them you need to get in the fireproof doors now, but they won't be putting their fists through them.
I was going to say there might be a few broken ones. One of the next questions
they'll have a few broken knuckles.
Nice. One of the things I wanted to talk to you recently was about electrification. I need to put my teeth in electrification, and I know that's something you've been focusing on your YouTube channel. Did you drive an e-truck recently, and what was that? What did you think?
Yeah, so last week weekend, people would have seen the video. I drove a Renault, so the D series, full electric truck. Now, this was a truck that Renault took on trial around the M25. I think they clocked up 180 kilometers, or was it 180 miles? I can't remember. But anyway, they had a 39% of battery pack left. So, I mean, this is a 265 kilowatt hour battery pack with a net capacity of 211 kilowatt hour, but Peter, the network is just useless. Yeah. Denmark have it better. They're really getting into the electrification, side of things, with cars and even trucks now coming down the line. But the range is still not there. I mean, that truck will suit some people without a doubt, but for the majority of us, it won't. So he was telling me that when they were charging it on the M25, they took up 3 parking bays to charge up the truck, because there's no truck bay to charge it up. So the electric car drivers weren't too happy when they pulled in and see this truck taking up 3 bays,
Yeah,
but
I bet.
You see, Peter, so I bought an electric car. Oh yeah, I must tell you something about that. But so I have a charger at home, and I have a charger here at the warehouse, okay?
Yeah.
So now here's the most stupid thing, Peter, ever, okay? You want to buy an electric car tomorrow here in Ireland, okay? The government want you to buy the electric car first before you put the charger in your house. So then you're saying to yourself, hang on a minute now, like these people that are fitting electric car chargers to houses, it's about a 3-week minimum wait to have it fitted at your house. Some of them are even 6 weeks. There's such a queue. So they're very busy at the moment fitting electric chargers to houses. And of course, they're selling more and more of them each year. I think the first 6 months of this year, Volkswagen sold like 740 ID4s and 500 ID3s. Wow. So they are selling them. Yeah. There's a lot of them. Oh yeah, and Peter, the Honda E, how many Honda E's did they sell in Ireland in the first 5 or 6 months of this year in 2020? Have a guess. How many Honda E's?
I don't know. 200, 300, 400.
18.
Oh, one of them was to you, wasn't it? One of them was to you, wasn't it?
Yeah, what? Oh yeah, we need to talk about that, Peter. Yeah, so I got a Honda E in January, right? And I've shot some videos of the car, and I've done 1,000 miles, like non-stop driving. It took me 29 hours and 24 minutes, and I clocked up a full 1,000 miles, so 1,700 and whatever kilometers. And yeah, that's all on my channel. And I did kind of expose some of the problems that you have on the charging network in Ireland, which is the ESB, Electricity Supply Board. So they're one of the suppliers of chargers all around Ireland. You've got other companies as well, but the ESB is the biggest. So I have highlighted in the past some of the problems with these chargers not starting, and they don't like to be woken up early in the morning either. So it's in a video. But anyway, Peter, I'll give you this information that I haven't told anyone yet on the channel.
Okay? Exclusive, love it.
My Honda E is gone. I sold it, right? So that is the end. I lasted 9 months, Peter, and that was it. I couldn't hack it anymore.
Really?
You see, it came to a head, okay? So this was all building up, Peter, okay? And people knocking on the window, how long more are you going to be? Oh, Jesus, will you just let me charge the car? But anyway, so it was all building up, the problems with these chargers. So I pulled into Athlone, which is in, more or less the Midlands in Ireland, just off the motorway there between Galway and Dublin. I pulled in. Now, I've highlighted before problems with chargers here in this particular location, which is right next to a McDonald's. So it's a fairly busy location. Anyway, pulled in 2 chargers and 1 free. I was there, great. Now, I didn't want to be spending any more than 40 to 45 minutes. I had a place to be, and I didn't want to be gowling around, okay? So anyway.
What's gowling? What's gowling mean? What's gowling mean?
No, gowling means faffing around, messing around, being unproductive. Right? That's gowling around.
Love it.
As they may say in some counties in Ireland, gowling, right? But anyway, so I pull up and swipe my card, stick in the into CCS because I wanted the fast charge, and nothing. And I'm there like, what's going on? Everything looks normal on the charger. I've no idea why it's not charging. Unplug, wait, plug in again, swipe my card, nothing. So I decided, you know what? I really need to get some charge in this, and I don't want to be waiting. So rang up the helpline, gave them the ID number on the charger, and she says, oh, right, that charger looks to be down. I'll do a reboot, Now, this is after like over 10 minutes of gowling around at the charger, faffing around, okay? So then she says to me, I'll do a reboot. It'll take about 5 minutes. I'm there, yeah, okay. So waited around. She done the reboot, and, the lights were flashing on the charger and the whole lot. And then she says, oh, is the car plugged in? I was there, it is, yes. She says, oh, unplug it and then swipe your card again. And I plug it in and voila, it starts to charge, Peter.
Amazing.
But here was the kicker. This was the nail in the coffin, okay, for the electric car, Peter. I asked her, now this was a Saturday around midday, okay? I asked her, when was the last time somebody charged on this charger? And she says to me, oh, yeah, I can check it here. Thursday, Peter. So Thursday was the last time somebody actually charged on that charger. So nobody thought at all to ring up the helpline and tell them that it was down. So after that, I says, you know what you can do? You can shove it up your arse. I'm done. I can't take this anymore, So you see, Peter, the ESB network, okay? There you have a charger down, a fast charger at a busy location. And yet they couldn't get it up and running. It took them, 2 days?
Awful, isn't it?
And like nothing? Surely it should have showed up on their system that this charger is down, do a reboot. She done the reboot, it only took 5 minutes, But you see, Peter, all of the problems with the network, okay, and problems with chargers not working properly. Now, the bizarre thing about it is that there are 2 locations in Ireland with free chargers, absolutely free. You go in there, I've never had a problem with them. Anytime they work, you plug them in, boom, starts charging straight away. Yeah. But the ESB ones, I don't know what they're doing with them, but there is issues with them. And Peter, don't even get me started about, there's 3 cables on a fast charger, okay? You can't charge 2 cars at the same time. And I even asked the guy from the ESB about this, like, what's the story like? You're up there in junction 14 Mayfield, near Kildare, just off the M7 between Dublin and Limerick, 2 main cities. You've got 4 brand new chargers here, and yet you can only charge 1 car at a time in each bay. And then he says to me, listen, you can actually charge 2 cars at the same time, but it depends who comes in first and what charge cable they plug in first. And I'm there, you know what? I've heard enough. Go away. Leave me alone. Like, why can't they, Peter? There's 2 bays in front of a charger. You've got CCS, you've got Type 2, and probably CHAdeMO, for the Nissan Leafs and that. Surely to God, it's not within, like, you should be able to charge 2 cars at the same time.
100%.
These are the latest chargers. They're brand new. They only fitted them there about 3 months back. And
Crazy.
Yet you can they're not set up at the moment, to charge 2 cars. I'm there. Will you go away? I can't be listening to this. So you see, Peter, all of this was building up to the eventual nail in the coffin for my electric car.
Yeah, I can see. Do you know what's funny? I'm just about to finish off the deal. Well, I've signed the deal for the new car, and I'm getting rid of a 1 Series Beamer diesel, which I love to bits. Absolutely love it. It's amazing. And I've got a Kia Niro coming, all electric. It arrives in 2 weeks.
Peter, I want to come back on in 9 months' time, right? Hold me to this, yeah? I want you to come back to me in 9 months' time, which is the time that I had the Honda E, and I want to hear your thoughts. Right?
Okay, I will.
9 months' time, guys. We'll
100%.
be back. And I can't wait to hear what Peter has to tell me.
I'll tell you what it's like over here in England. Jesus. I don't know.
Jesus,
Yeah.
Peter, this is really going to piss you off. How have you got much more to go? Oh, God. I couldn't deal with it. I couldn't. No. Could not.
I know. And I use it for work as well. I use it for work. So it's just going to be, it's going to be a nightmare. I travel all over England. Yeah. So we'll just see. But you've horrified me at the thought of it. So maybe I should have spoken
Peter,
to you
none of the salesmen will tell you, like, okay, say for instance, I still had the car. Yeah. If you really want to piss off a woman, yeah, pull up to a charger with no available chargers, okay? And tell her, Jesus, like, how long are we going to be here for? Probably an hour, because we could be 20 minutes, half an hour waiting behind them, and then go in and then spend another 40 minutes. Listen, there'll be arguments. I know a couple of, I've heard of a couple of people that have gone back to combustion. I heard of a guy with an Audi e-tron, brand new, traded in his S-Class. 3 months, Peter. 3 months is all he lasted with the car. And he went back. So, yeah, well, I lasted 9, so I gave it a bit more time.
We'll see. We'll see how it goes, Stavros. Oh, man. Hi, it's Pete from Flagship Partners. We're really proud to sponsor a Half Dozen Things podcast. At Flagship Partners, we take road safety really seriously, and we're your road safety partnership. We help transport companies with compliance and training across their businesses, including first aid, driver CPC, and other transport management services. So if you're FORS accredited or you want to improve your operator compliance risk score, give Flagship Partners a call today. Right, so that leads us nicely then onto the area. I wanted to talk to you a bit more about your channel and what have you on YouTube. You're coming up to 10 years now. Tell me a bit about the story of the channel, how it came about, Stavros, and obviously how you got to here over the last 10 years.
Yeah, well, it all started off back in 1988 when I got my first video camera. Like long before YouTube came down the line, I was making home movies, like some footage of which I've shared on the channel, where myself and my father went down to McCarthy Commercials down in Watergrass Hill in County Cork, and we were test driving articulated trucks before he bought his first articulated truck, which was in 1988. So we were 8 years in business before we bought our first articulated truck. Wow. Which was a Volvo F10 320 4x2. And how much was it, Peter, in 1988? Because Rory still has the receipt.
I've no idea. What?
In Irish pounds.
I don't know. 10, 20 grand? I don't know. 30 grand?
It was 42. It was 42. Just over 42,000 pounds.
Very good. Was there much difference between, sorry for my ignorance, between Irish pounds and UK pounds? Was there a difference?
Oh, I can't remember back to 88 how much of a difference there was.
But 42 grand, that vehicle now is what, 150 grand? All day long.
Oh, the equivalent now, 320 horsepower. The equivalent now probably, I don't know, in around 100. Sure, Volvo don't even do a 320 FH anymore, which is what it would have evolved into. But I don't even think they do a 320. But anyway, probably 450. I'd say around 100 grand in around that.
Yeah, crazy.
But when you think of it, Peter, okay, when we were down in McCarthy Commercials in Watergrass Hill in 1988, okay, like the F16 Volvo had only just come out a year previous in 1987. And everyone wanted to drive the F16. It had 470 horsepower. It was the king of the hill at the time. This truck was like the bee's knees, So, unfortunately, Rory didn't drive that. He drove the F10 and the F12, and he drove an FL6 as well. So, yeah, he ended up doing a deal that day, actually. So Rory wasn't one of the time wasters, Peter. When you have these ride and drive events, they only want to come down and drive the truck, and they have no intention of actually thinking about doing a deal. Rory actually did a deal that day.
Yeah, good for him. Yeah.
So yeah, that was the first articulated truck.
And that was your video in it, and you were videoing it.
Yeah.
as early as 88.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah, I have footage. I have footage on the channel from 88. And Peter, I was like doing all sorts of stupid stuff with the video camera back in 88. You know, like fashion shows, school plays, drama performances at a local GAA club here. What else was I videoing? Like, oh yeah, I did for a school group, like a pop group. We did a video down here in the old warehouse, and we had all the trucks, F6s, by the way, FL7s, going back to the 80s, and they were lined up in the warehouse, and we were using the lights. I had guys in each truck, and they were flashing all the lights, and the guys were singing in front. And amazing. That was a bit of a music video. Don't ask me where the footage is. I can't find it. It's probably not in existence anymore. But you see, Peter, back in those days, right, I was recording an awful lot, but then I recorded over an awful lot as well. Like, and you know, like no such thing as hard drives or SD cards, which are far easier to store footage now. But back then it was just, you know, because we didn't have the money to go out buying more and more tapes, you know, so it was just record over. Was it
on an old like VHS system, like a big VHS system?
VHS,
yeah. Wow. Yeah. That brings back memories.
But the first, like I did share some of the footage there from the first ever recording I did, which was in 1988, in my parents' garden house out the back. And we shot a short video before we went to school, myself and my friend, you know, and it was just like total gowling around, just like messing. But yeah, that's what I used to do. But Peter, just getting back to the channel, like the first ever video I put up on YouTube was actually of a cracked Scania mudguard. And I had a few other trucks here where I could do a comparison, because it was not just the articulated trucks that were, you know, cracking mudguards. It was also the rigids as well. So it was just a molded mud flap at the end of the mudguard that was moving around and, you know, causing friction and then just cracking the mudguard. People will know what I'm talking about who drive Scanias, but yeah, they were kind of plagued with that for a while, until they went back to the old-fashioned one, which was just the simple flap, you know. Before it was like a molded mud flap, but yeah, it didn't turn out to be a good idea, Peter. So yeah, Scania went back to the cheaper option, you know.
Yeah, of course.
So, but yeah, like some of the people now that know the channel, they know that I did a couple of trips over to Sweden. It was fantastic looking at their museum. Scania have a fantastic museum there in Södertälje, and the headquarters is there as well. And yeah, the guy that was taking me around the museum, you know, there was, I don't know, there must have been like 20 vehicles in the museum. He says that this is just a small amount of what Scania have in buildings all around Södertälje. What they have in the museum is just a fraction of what they have. Like it's unbelievable. And then they have the demo center as well, where you can go down and have a test drive of the truck. Nice. It's a fantastic facility to have for Scania to be able to come over, you know, like bring people over, have them test drive the trucks all around the test track, and, you know, wine and dine them and the whole lot. It's a fantastic facility.
Yeah, amazing.
I don't know what the equivalent of, I don't know what Volvo have or DAF have. Have they got equivalent ones? I don't know, because I've not been invited to them. So I
hint, nudge, nudge. I worked for Volvo for a number of years. I worked for Volvo, and I never got to go to Sweden.
You know, but Peter, yeah, like, and yeah, they do all the research and development up on this hill, and you know, you can't see anything really. It's where they test all the trucks and all. But I think they're working about 8 to 10 years ahead, you know, in the research and development. But Peter, they have, now I was flabbergasted at this number. They have over 6,000 people in R&D in Scania in Södertälje. Over 6,000. And it's funny, right? Because when I was over in Sweden there, Leif Olsling, which is Scania's former CEO, he was signing a book. He was doing a book signing because he has retired like years ago, but he was doing a book signing. And I was in the queue for the book signing. And I bought 2 books, but Peter, I don't speak Swedish. And they're all in Swedish, so I can't even read anything. I know. He signed the book and all, but I can't even read the bleeding thing. But anyway, so I'm in the queue, okay, and obviously there was a load of ex-Scania employees that were queuing up to buy the book, because this bookshop had I'd say about 50 people sitting down waiting for Lef Olsting to come in. But anyway, I'm in the queue, and I get talking to this guy, and he says, "Oh, I used to work for Scania, and I says to him, "And how many people were in R&D when you were working there?" And he says, "Oh, about 1,200. And I was there, and do you know how many's in there today?" And he was there, no, it's many years since I left. And I told him over 6,000. He's there, what? He didn't even realize,
That's
so
nuts, isn't it?
you see, Peter, they have, Scania want to get into the American market. This is their main aim. They want a slice of that market that Volvo have, because Volvo is a far bigger company than Scania. Volvo is huge, and Volvo have a big foothold on the American market. So Scania want a piece of that action, and it'll just be a matter of time before they start moving in. Yeah. They've already invested in an American company there as well. So
have they?
Yeah,
have they, yeah.
Like that.
Volvo are involved with Mac, aren't they? Volvo are involved with Mac, I think, aren't they?
Yeah, you see, Volvo, when Renault owned Mac, okay, Volvo wanted to buy Mac from Renault, but Renault didn't want to sell them just Mac, so it's like, buy us out, buy Renault trucks and Mac together. We're not just selling you Mac, because that was Volvo's foothold into the American market, This was how they got in. So Scania are trying to do the same now. But you see, Peter, a lot of people within Scania, okay, not mentioning any names, but they're not too happy with the Volkswagen takeover. All those years that Lef Olsling was CEO of Scania, Volvo didn't have ownership of the company, So not a lot of people are happy with the overall takeover of, from Volkswagen of Scania, because inevitably the prices were going to go up, and they are.
Yeah.
They went up hugely. This truck that I'm in now, which came out in 2016, it was launched in 2016, the next generation Scania. Sure, the prices. Now, it's funny, okay, because when I was talking to people back in 2016, 2017, and you'd say to them, "Oh, are you getting one of the new generation Scanias?" And they'd say, no, they're huge money, But now the same companies have them on their fleet, So like, what has changed? I don't know.
Oh, I don't know. I think the residual values are very good on them. I think they're good secondhand, aren't they? So that gap between the new and the used is not so bad if you're contract hiring them and that kind of thing, I suppose. One of the things I wanted to. Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, but the residuals, they wouldn't be as strong as you would think. Well, maybe on these ones it is at the moment. But say, for instance, okay, we bought an MAN 480, and we also bought an R480 Scania, both in the same year. The Scania was €10,000 more than the MAN at the time, okay? Now, in fairness, we still have the 2008 Scania, and the MAN has been gone for 2 years. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, you would probably say, in some cases, it's better to spend the extra, because the MAN is gone off the fleet, because of problems. But, 10 grand, it doesn't seem like much now. But if you were to compare the two trucks today, Peter, that gap has widened hugely.
Yeah.
Within the price of the two trucks, the equivalent trucks, it's like hugely wide now, the gap. But no, the MENs, the new MENs are a fine truck, right? But it's still based on the old cab. Yeah. So they changed all the interior and changed a bit of the exterior, but it's still the old shell. And DAF went okay. They have a whole new cab, but I still don't think DAF have done enough with that truck as well. They've done a few changes to the engines, but they're still using the same gearbox, Scania, I have to test drive a 590 Scania. I think Nolan's have one in. I have to test that out because it has the new Scania gearbox on it.
Oh, nice.
This gearbox, the Opti Cruise, and this is good, but it's not perfect. it definitely needs improving. Sometimes when you stick it into gear, it's like wait, it goes into gear. Sometimes it can be, a bit clunky, all right, and you're slowing down to a roundabout. Sometimes I just do it manually, up and down through the gear manually, because sometimes if you try to rely on it being in the right gear and you see a gap and you press and nothing, sort of like the Mercedes Actros. Some people will know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
But sometimes I have it with this as well. But
don't have those problems with the Volvo I-Shift. Don't have those problems with the Volvo I-Shift.
It's a good gearbox, the Volvo I-Shift now. That 540 that I had, but sure, listen, Peter, I've been telling them here, at least have a Volvo on the fleet. and I've been telling the salesman here in Limerick, like, you need to keep pushing. Like, don't think because they're not going to buy it this month that in 3 months' time he may have changed his mind and actually go for a Volvo. But I was impressed with that 540 turbo compound now. That was a nice truck. And even the driver here that drives the DAF, he loved it. He would trade from the DAF straight away tomorrow if he could. He loved that truck. So they're a lovely truck to drive, the Volvo, but they're just dated on the inside. They need to have a whole new update on the interior. But the gearbox is good. Now you can get the dual clutch gearbox in the Volvo, but it's like €5,000 more, Peter.
Yeah, it's a lot of money.
It's a lot of money, and I was talking to a guy over in Truckfest Edinburgh who's running 2 500 FHs, one with just the normal I-Shift and one with a dual clutch gearbox, and he says that there is no saving in fuel at all, because what happens is with the dual clutch gearbox driver, all they're doing is pressing it on because it's going up through the gears faster, and they're foot to the floor. You're saving no fuel. So it's really only, I would say, an owner driver. If an owner driver wants one, they'll probably spend the extra. They'll enjoy
the drive more. They'll enjoy the drive.
Yeah, exactly. But not for a fleet truck. I would definitely tell them, no way, buy a dual clutch here for a fleet truck. No, owner driver. Yeah. Oh yeah, Peter. People will have seen as well. If I can just show you quickly here, you see that Renault T? Can you see it?
Yeah, I can see it. Yeah.
Yeah. So that Renault T has the bad steering, as I call it. Okay. So bad steering adjustment, and ever since this truck came out in, I think it was 2013, they've had bad steering adjustment. Now Renault have only just rectified this with the new Evolution model. So finally, people now have good steering adjustment in their Renault T's and T highs. But Renault have been doing a bit of penny pinching lately, Peter, okay? Because on the new, we have a new Renault T, which people would have seen in the video from last week. But it has a TomTom, the infotainment screen sitting on top of the dashboard. Whereas on the left-hand drive models, it's built into the dashboard. And plus on the left-hand drive models, they have a lovely phone holder as well, right next to the infotainment screen. And it's adjustable as well. You can widen it. And that's not on the right-hand drive models. Like, that is penny pinch.
Yeah. That is, isn't it? That's naughty. That is naughty.
But if people would have seen last Sunday's video, they'll see, because I show the differences, because Renault conveniently parked a left-hand drive right next to a right-hand drive. So I was able to show them the differences.
It's good for you to compare that one. Good for you to compare that one. With regards to YouTube channel, when obviously you've been running it since 2011, when did the rubber really start to hit the road? What was it that really sort of made the difference with the extra people coming to subscribe and watch your videos? What do you think has caused that to happen, Stavros?
Well, it's the trucks. The last 3 years, 3.5 years, it's all been, trucks and car events. Because, I mean, the truck videos, it's not really sustainable. You can't keep a channel going just on trucks, and people will get bored of vlogs. Say, for instance, if I'm out every day and all I video is me doing deliveries, people are going to get bored of that. And I'm definitely not doing that. But I have done the odd one every now and again where I go out doing deliveries, but I wouldn't run a channel that way at all. If there's something interesting, I'll video it. Now, I did have a break there of about 5 weeks. I had a break off YouTube, which was great. And then I come back with the Renault video. But like, my next video is going to be completely different. So people will see, you know, if it's something that I think will interest the viewer, I'll video it. Whether it's a car event, a truck event, or whatever, I'll video it. But I'm not, into the future, I won't be uploading every weekend. I can't, because it's not sustainable. You know, I've got a full-time job, and it was getting to the stage there, Peter, you know, when I was building up subscribers, where I was putting myself under pressure to try and have a video out every weekend, you know. And it was almost getting to the point where, you know, is this my hobby anymore, or is it another job that I have at a weekend?
Yeah.
You know, the weekends are supposed to be for me to rest, and yet I'm putting myself under pressure. You know, because you'd be heading off, you'd be videoing, back home, editing, and then right through the night. Sure, it was Sunday morning, 2, 3, 4 o'clock by the time, you know.
There's so much involved with editing. There's so much involved with editing, isn't it? Because it's not just the filming. There's so much time and effort.
Oh yeah. Some videos are, you know, you can have them done in 4 hours. Some of them are 5. Some of them are 6 hours. You know, so it does. Like, I do love the editing. I love the videoing, and I love the editing. You know, because when you are the editor of your video, you're videoing, and in your head is the way you're going to edit the video. You know, I kind of feel sorry for these guys that edit a video that somebody else has shot, because they're not in the mindset of, you know, me who has shot the video, and me that has to edit the video. So yeah, I kind of feel sorry for those guys that have to go through all of the footage and try and figure out, okay, what way am I going to put this together now? You know, no, some of them are very good at it, I have to say. Even though they don't shoot the video, some of them are very good. But yeah, I have never had anyone edit any of my videos. They're all edited by myself.
Yeah.
Because I don't really trust anyone. It's the trust.
Yeah, of course.
It's not so much paying them. It's like, can I actually trust this guy? And I'm sure they'd be able to do as good a job, right? But it's just, I have it in my head, you know, it's the timing. Yeah. And are they going to have the timing right and all? You see, I don't know. It's just the way I am.
No, you're an artist. I get it. You're an artist.
Yeah, I don't let anyone edit my videos.
Whilst we talk about that, then tell me what's the biggest thing you don't like in the time you've run the YouTube channel? What don't you like the most? Go on, tell me. What do you hate?
Guys that promise and never deliver. So, you know, you'll go to a dealership and they'll say, "Oh, we'll get you this, we'll get you that," and they never deliver. You know, so those guys really piss me off. You know. I'll give you an example of one video as well, Peter, right? I edited a video for a particular company, big company, and it was of a product that they sell. And I edited the video, and of course they wanted to see the video before it went up, which I hate, you know, because that isn't like an alarm bell for me. They're going to want something cut out. They're going to ruin the way I wanted the video to turn out. And yeah, I hate it when people want to see the video before it goes up. Don't like that. But anyway, I sent them the video, and they sent me back an email with 5 different things that they wanted cut out of the video. And I'm reading this email, and all that's going through my head is, you have just ruined your whole video. This video is going to be an absolute joke. It's going to make me look like an amateur. It's going to make your product look not as good as it should look. And yeah, I was not happy with that at all, Peter. So I had to re-edit the video, send it back. Then they sent back another video. Oh, you know, this piece here, can you just do another piece here? Jesus, like 2 more edits on that video. And then it was cleared to go up. But I swear to you, Peter, I will never video another thing for that company again. Not a hope in hell. They ruined their own video. And yeah, I won't say any more because people will know who I'm talking about.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
But I
hope
they're watching, because no, I won't video for you guys anymore. Yeah?
I hope they're watching. I think they'll probably know who they are as well.
Yeah, they probably will.
Amazing. I've got a guest coming on soon. I shan't say who they are, but I've got a guest on soon, and they're a sort of fairly big company in the UK. and they have to do a bit of due diligence, and they're wanting to see it before I put it out, the interview that I'm doing. But hey, you know, sometimes
the interview here
sometimes
was me.
no. So like another company.
All right, Jesus.
And I don't really know what to
Peter,
expect.
You landed yourself in it, huh?
Anyway, hey Stavros, it's been an absolute pleasure having you join me on this Saturday morning. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Peter, 9 months time.
Yes,
9 months time.
9 months. Genuinely, I'll set a date. It'll be the summer next year, and we'll have another catch up. We'll have another record on a Saturday morning, and I'll let you know about my electric experience as well.
I can't wait to hear it. I can't wait.
Amazing. Thank you everyone for listening, and I hope you enjoyed it. Please do share it. Thank you, Stavros. You take care, buddy.
Thanks a lot, Peter.
I really hope you loved today's episode, and if you did, please make sure you subscribe and listen out for future episodes too. Please do share it across your social media channels. We hope to reach more and help more people. If you want to find out more about me, my name's Pete Rushmer. You'll find me across any social media channel and my business Flagship Partners, and we're your partners in success across your business. Thank you. See you again soon.